4 years ago, I turned my 500 square foot studio apartment into my dream space. It started like this, and I turned it into this. So in this video, I'm gonna walk you through the before and after of my studio apartment and show you how I took it from an empty box to a cozy retreat. And if you're new to my channel, my name is Steffi, and I'm the creator of the interior style blog, Moda Misfit, and you're watching Living Pretty, the place for apartment styling tips and small space decor inspiration. Just because you rent your space doesn't mean you can't own your style, so if you want to get inspired every week, be sure to subscribe. So this is what my studio apartment looked like when I first moved in. Sadly, these are the only photos I have of my studio when I first moved in because, believe it or not, there was a time in my life where I didn't obsessively take pictures of my apartment and post them all over Instagram. Now, if you look at my Instagram, you'd think that posting photos of my studio is basically like breathing for me. Every single angle of my studio is there. So here's the first thing I did when I moved into this studio. I got my head straight before I got my home straight. When decorating a space, your mindset should be the very first thing you address before anything else. If you've been keeping up with my videos for any length of time, you know that the whole Moda Misfit ethos revolves around putting you at the center of your decor. I basically encourage you to be very self-centered in your styling. In this video, I talked about the first 3 steps you should take when decorating an apartment, and step 1 is to look inward. And that's exactly what I did. I did some serious self-reflection. I asked myself, what's been inspiring me lately? What am I passionate about that I would love to see depicted in my styling somehow? What attitude do I want to convey? That's how I ended up with this sort of dark, moody, cozy look that showcases my love of music and anime and Legend of Zelda. I thought about all of this ahead of time. That's how you not only end up with a space that feels like a reflection of you and addresses your specific desires, but it's also how you avoid wasting money on things that don't resonate with you. Do the inner work first and do it well, and you'll simply save money because you'll be more thoughtful and strategic about the things that you spend your money on. After that inner work, the next thing I did to take my studio from this to this was I started making decisions on what I actually wanted the styling to look like in here. I started making decisions on color palette, what I wanted my dominant style to be, what I wanted my secondary style to be, and what little touches I wanted to add on top of the accessories I already owned. Again, this is preliminary work that takes place before you buy a single piece of new decor. I think it's best to come up with as much of a plan as possible while still giving yourself some wiggle room to be spontaneous. And to have that general plan, I needed to establish my vision. I knew I wanted a dark, moody vibe in here. I'm drawn to things that have a little bit of an edge to them, yet still feel cozy. I like drama, but I still wanted it to feel approachable. I like color, but I wanted it to be in moderation. So I ended up with a dark charcoal as my base color and pops of greens and gold as my accent colors. I opted for moody black and white wall art. I worked in moments of edginess and drama, yet I balanced them with layers and layers of softness and warmth. All these decisions were premeditated, my friend. A dream apartment doesn't happen by accident. So by really taking the time to think these things through, I was able to make clearer decisions and spend my money more wisely on a vision that I already established for this apartment. So after I did the inner work, then established my vision for this space, I started shopping. I shopped my heart out. I shopped my brains out. I shopped my guts out. This is when I basically descended into madness for this apartment. I shopped obsessively. Thank goodness I had already established my vision for what I wanted the space to look like, because otherwise I would have felt like a chicken with my head cut off. while shopping. I spent every spare minute shopping for accessories, the right TV stand, the right coffee table, wall art, the perfect headboard, all the while being super budget conscious. This was the first time I wasn't splitting rent with roommates, so how could I find the right decor for the right price? I'd get home from work and shop online. I'd spend the weekends going to Pier 1 and World Market with my mom. I was driven. Ow. This ring is no joke. Now, I'm not saying that you have to pour yourself into your decor to such an obsessive degree. Honestly, I'm just very passionate about interior styling. It's one of my favorite things in the world. So don't put pressure on yourself to lose your mind over this stuff if you don't naturally feed off of it the way I do. So here's where I did my shopping for this apartment, mostly Pier 1, Target, and World Market. Most of my wall art is from Society6, Etsy, Amazon, and Redbubble. All my rugs and lamps are from Target, so is my coffee table. My headboard and TV stand and matching side table are from World Market. My desk is from IKEA. My armchair and pretty much all my faux florals are from Pier 1. My console table and matching chairs were from a local mom and pop store in Snoqualmie, Washington, which has sadly closed down. And my big splurge for this place was my couch from West Elm. Pretty much everything else in here was carried over from past apartments. So as you can gather, my decor, for the most part, is not from fancy places. It's actually from very accessible stores, except for Pier 1, which is no longer accessible because they closed all their stores down. I don't want to talk about it. Let's just pour one out for Pier 1. So whatever your budget is, know that you don't have to shop at fancy stores to make your apartment look stylish. Honestly, a trip to Target works wonders. And the final phase of decorating my apartment, which actually happened simultaneously to the shopping phase, was arranging everything and accessorizing. Let me stress this. Shopping for your apartment and arranging and accessorizing it should happen simultaneously. Your life isn't an HGTV show where your dream decor just suddenly happens when Chip and Joanna reveal it to you. You don't have to rush. Take it piece by piece. Be a tortoise, not a hare. This is where you piece together your furniture layout, decide how you want things to flow, and add the accessories that bring everything together. When I moved into this place, my very first priority was to buy a mattress, and that's what I recommend to anyone who is working with a clean slate in a brand new apartment. I already had my bedding from my last apartment, so once I had my mattress, I could at least start sleeping here. At the end of the day, you just need somewhere to sleep, if nothing else. I had my mattress on the floor for weeks before I got my bed frame. Then I built from there. I got the bed frame, I got the rugs, I got the couch, I got the TV stand, and I got the desk. All the while adding accessories here and there to give the space my personality. If you want my approach to figuring out the layout of an apartment, you can watch this video and this video. I'll link to them below. They're specifically about figuring out a studio apartment layout, but really the principles can be applied to any apartment. So that was an overview of my before and after journey with this studio apartment. It started with setting myself up for interior styling success by doing the inner work. Then I established my vision. Then I started shopping for, arranging, and accessorizing the space. And it just so happens that each of those overall steps is a full module in my upcoming online course, Small Apartment Styling School, which will be open for enrollment next month. Module 1 is setting yourself up for interior styling success with lessons on finding your interior styling confidence, setting your interior styling goals, figuring out your budget, and conquering your clutter so that you can start with a clean slate for your styling. Module 2 is all about discovering your personal style, figuring out what your interior style is, and establishing your vision around it. It has lessons on 10 interior styles you can potentially choose from, how to figure out which style feels right for you, the art of mixing styles, and choosing your color palette. Module 3 is shopping for your apartment. There are lessons about online shopping, creating mood boards, choosing your furniture and accessories, and how to find accessories that express your unique personality. And Module 4 is all about arranging and accessorizing your apartment, which has lessons on avoiding common interior styling mistakes, my toolbox of interior styling tricks, and how to actually style your bedroom, living room, kitchen, and bathroom. All this will be topped off with a 5-week private Facebook group in which I'll be answering styling questions from students about their specific apartments. I'll basically be your personal interior styling Yoda, guiding you through how to become your own interior stylist. Because like I always say, everyone has style. Just like Luke always had the Force, and he just needed Yoda to help him reach his potential. You are capable of creating your dream apartment, and I want to help you get there. So if you want to learn more about Small Apartment Styling School and want to join the waitlist, I'll link to it below. For daily glimpses into my studio apartment life, follow me on Instagram at moda.misfit. And for regular doses of apartment styling tips and small space decor inspiration, subscribe to this channel and hit the bell to be notified when a new episode goes up every week. And remember, your apartment is destined to be pretty, and you are pretty powerful.